not lick my arm, please? I would appreciate that so much. Hey. You know what's funny? Is I just realized, obviously cut that out, but on a podcast, it sounds like I'm just asking you to stop licking my arm. Because you can't see that, like my dog. That was my dog.
Yeah, on the audio, yeah.
Anyway, it's a great way to start.
All right, I'm gonna clap. Yay. Welcome to the Your Petty Friend podcast. This is my second episode of the day, and I had to set this up without Kevin, and I appreciate Kevin so much more right now. We're here with Zan.
Hi.
Again, second episode. How'd you like
I'm happy to be back.
Yeah. How did you like the first one?
It was great.
It was great, yeah.
Well, obviously it went as well as I thought it did because I've been asked back.
Yeah.
So
obviously.
Good to know it wasn't just in my head.
No, yeah. I think it's the best performing episode, and I don't think Kevin's jealous, but maybe just a little bit, which is fun.
That's okay. He's great at setting this up.
Yeah.
We have a lot of
I'm just
respect for
kidding.
Kevin.
Hi.
I have a dog.
This is Juneau. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do
The
you want
city
to
of
come up?
Alaska. Do you want to come up? Up.
Yeah.
You can come up here. Just don't knock things over. Well,
Okay.
immediately knocks
Immediately. How old is she?
She's like 11. At Christmas, I've had her for 10 years. I've kept her alive for an entire decade.
It's impressive, isn't it?
It is so impressive.
I remember when I first got my dog, I'm just like, I'm going to have you for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
And now it's at a year 11, I think.
Dang.
So.
And doing great.
Ish.
Surviving
No,
at least.
yeah, exactly. He's alive, so.
Oh, no.
No, he's good. He has like some health issues, but he's doing good for the most part.
She's like pretty good. She just had like an eye issue. She like scratched her eye earlier this year. So it kind of looks like she's like glaucoma, but it's just like this weird eye scratch, like scar tissue or something. But otherwise, like she's great.
She was very sweet.
She's very sweet.
She was helping me set up.
Oh, of course she was. She is so nosy. She's like, why are you using your hands for literally anything other than to pet me?
Pretty much.
Okay, you have to stop licking my arm.
It was more of a moral support type of thing. But yeah, how have you been? I feel like it hasn't been too long, but
yeah, I don't
know.
Has it?
You went to the barbecue.
Yes,
That was
was
really
that last
nice.
weekend? That was the weekend before.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to hang out. It was like a nice weekend too.
Yeah, I want to do that again.
Yeah.
I talked about it a little bit with Kevin's episode, but I made a lot of food. Mm-hmm. Not too many people came, but it was also like kind of amazing, like the perfect amount of people came. Yeah, I'm not the best at like hosting big gatherings, but whenever it's like the lead up to it is worse than the actual thing.
Yeah, because you're always like in a panic of like, is anybody gonna come? Like, what did I prep enough? Did I invite enough people, or did I remind people to come? I don't know. I have a lot of anxiety of like throwing parties and nobody showing up.
Yeah, I mean, you came out of my guest, and then some of the other people that were supposed to come didn't come, and we put on the invite that we were going to talk shit, but we didn't. We didn't talk shit.
That's true. That was the only thing.
Yeah. That was the only thing that I was trying to get people to come because I was like to guilt them into coming, but it didn't really work, which is fine.
It's okay. I feel like that was like practice round for the next one where we will talk shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like, like at weddings where sometimes people like will leave like a video message and then they like compile it for like the bride and groom kind of thing. Like be fun to do like everybody, like a compilation of everybody talking shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we thought about setting up to do an episode that day, but that was one of the things that we're just like, we're not going to bother with that. Like day of. Yeah. And then I ended up like not taking any pictures, not doing any social media at all. And so I'm just like, I really failed on, because I'm technically supposed to be like the social media manager. I'm like, I failed on that part.
I'm so bad at that. I used to, when Amory and I used to throw those discos, like I would forget to take photos or videos all the time. And then I would be like, oh, I have to like post things on our social media. And I would have like a video and I'd be like frantically texting Anne-Marie being like, please tell me you took some video. And she's like, I got you. Like 40 chaotic videos later, I'm like, great, somebody took video at least.
I used to get really annoyed at those friends that are constantly taking video. But now I'm just like, you're taking video? Okay, I'm just going to ask you later.
Yeah.
Because I'm like the worst at it. Unless I'm holding a camera, I'm okay at it. Like sometimes I'm like on my phone heavy, and then other times I'm like not at all.
Yeah.
And so in our like industry or our line of doing events or doing any of this, like anything where we have to promote like the things we're working on, it's important to do all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I always appreciate the people that are
super on
their phone. Yeah, on their phone and like know the importance, and you don't have to ask them, and they're just good about it.
Or they get good shots too.
Yeah.
There are so many times where I feel like sometimes I'm good about it. Like if I remember to do it, then I'll be like, oh great. But then I'll go through my footage later and be like, I didn't get, like, I could have gotten that kind of shot or that kind of shot. And like, I always forget. I don't know. Yeah. I got to get better at it, I guess. Do I?
I don't know. I'm trying to get better at like filming myself.
Yeah.
Like I did like a mural for my house.
Yeah. It was so cool.
On my phone, I only took like pictures as, you know, I finished things and I posted that. But I actually have my camera recording me as I'm working. Yeah. I just have to actually go through that footage. Yeah. I have so much footage that I haven't gone through. Yeah. And it's going back like a couple years now, so I really have to go through all that and be better about that.
Yeah. I know. I always forget to take like work in progress stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard. It's also like another thing to worry about as you're working. Yeah. And it makes like the thing that you're actually doing, like it's harder to get done. Right. Because you're thinking of two different things. Right. And for me, like painting in particular, I used to never take work in progress shots as I was painting, but it's something where it's how I'm able to do this at all. Yeah. Because taking work in progress shots as I was painting made me more comfortable in front of the camera. And now I'm doing a podcast. So it's like all these little things that kind of, I think my goal is to actually like speak on panels and
you should
and be in front of people, but I'm not super comfortable with that yet.
Very scary.
Yeah. I mean, I went to industry in Spanish. I think I'm getting that name wrong.
Spanglish.
Yeah. It's Spanglish, isn't it? Yeah. And so industry in Spanglish. Yeah. Maria puts those on, and they are very, very good at speaking in front of people.
Oh, yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, and it motivates me, and I want to get better at that. Yeah. I think that's my whole spiel on that.
Yeah, I, too, would like to get better at that. I feel like, I mean, I've done it before, and I don't think that, like, I'm particularly bad at it, but I'm also just like very much in my head about it. So like anytime that I do mess up a little bit, I'm like, that's like all I can think about. And then I'm like, you are literally the worst at this. So I want to get to a point where I'm not like thinking like so in my head, I guess.
Yeah. The only time I do it is when I go back to my old school and I speak to, shout out Cal State Fullerton, the ad club there. Because I was a member of that club. And, you know, that was when I was kind of first introduced to like the whole like thought leadership speaker panel thing. And so they'll invite me back. But I'm speaking to students, so it's kind of like low pressure. Yeah. And I did that myself, and I was in their shoes. So it kind of makes me... you know, flash back to when I was a student and what I wanted to hear. And I always end up, whenever I post about that, it's like one of my friends in particular is like, tell them the truth, tell them not to do it.
Warn them all.
And I'm like, you know, I have to lie. You know, we need interns and all.
Yeah, that's also true. You do.
And he's just like, no, don't do it. And I'm just like, no, we have to, I try to do both. I try to tell them the good and the bad and try to just be honest because it is a great, like, job and industry.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that we're all doing what it is that we're doing.
One thing that they kept saying at the industry event was, we're in a cult, and that is valid.
We 100% are. I always say to people, it's like, I mean, we're not doing this for money. Like, nobody in music is getting paid well, unless you're at the very top. But, like, we're doing this because, like, we genuinely, like, love music.
Yeah, I think that is something that people don't fully understand about people that work in music is, like, why we do it. Because it's not a money thing. It's really, like, an art and interest thing. Yeah. And there's definitely people that get into it for the wrong reasons and, you know, are manipulative and have malicious intent. But for the most part, like, some of the best people I've ever met have been in the music industry because they do it for passion. Yeah. And I'm also, like, advertising club, like ad club, you know, that is more for brands. But the people that go into advertising come at it from a place of loving, like, art and culture and trying to, you know, use those loves for the purpose of capitalism. But, you know, obviously, like, that's just the system we're in right now. So we all have bills to pay. Yeah, we all have bills to pay. We all have to, like, you know, my eyes, sorry, work for brands and all that stuff. So it's part of it. It is what it is. And I don't know, sometimes people, I don't know if I'd be able to do the things that I do without, this is like a whole other tangent, but, like, capitalism allows me to do things that I'm allowed to do as a creative. You know, I don't know any other system to work in, but, like, it's the system that we have. So that's the system that we're doing things in. So anyway, that's a nice little tangent, but
I love a tangent.
Yeah.
You know, I love a tangent.
Yeah, I know.
Don't get me started.
But you were at Pitbull.
I was at Pitbull. Yeah. Speaking, because you said that they were talking about Pitbull, right? So, wait, what did they say about Pitbull?
Okay, so
such a wild night.
So I'll start first, but this is not, like, the most positive thing that they said about Pitbull.
Oh, I'm sure it's not.
But one thing one of the panelists said, I won't name her, but she was basically saying, I think Pitbull is terrible. I don't think he's very good, but he is extremely hardworking, and he was extremely diligent especially when he first started out in his career, of just being persistent and a hustler and, like, being humble. And she's like, I don't like his music. I think his music is shit. Essentially is what she said. I'm paraphrasing. But he's a hard worker. And so that was, like, the whole thing. And then it was like, he just kept on coming up again and again. That's after that. So funny. The whole time I'm just like, that's where Zan is.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I had gotten invited to that. And I thought because when we had talked about it, like, a couple months ago, or like a month or two ago, maybe, I don't know, whatever. And, like, my days are all blurred together, but we talked about it a while ago, and I thought it was going to be during the day. And so I was going to go, like, with my colleagues. Yeah. And then it ended up being in the evening, and I was like, we got to drive to San Diego. Like, and I kid you not, we can't go because we're going to Pitbull. Like, as a team, we're all going to Pitbull. Yeah. So that was my email to them, but, yeah, Pitbull was wild. I also can't say that I'm a huge Pitbull fan. Yeah. But, like, I was like, it's going to be a ridiculous show. Like, there are so many shows that I do go to, like, not because I'm a huge fan of the artist, but because I'm just like, I think it's going to be a fun show. Right. You know? And then I remember, because I was like, oh, shit, the show's coming up. And I was like, how many Pitbull songs do I really know? And then I, like, was going through, you know, like, the This Is Pitbull playlist on Spotify, and I was like, oh my God, I know every single one of these songs. I was like, you forget that, like, because he does so many collaborations, you're like, oh, that's also a Pitbull song? That's a Pitbull song? That's a Pitbull song too? Like, you just kind of forget. Yeah. Yeah, that man is a hustler. He's everywhere.
No, and I've heard, like, such great things about him. And that's, like, you hear a lot of, like, there's, like, the public persona of an artist, and then there's the industry persona of an artist. As far as I know, like, I don't hang out in circles a lot where I don't hang out in a lot of Latin music artist circles, but everything I've heard about him has been like, oh, he's really nice and kind and humble and all that thing. Yeah. I thought one of the things that he did was really funny was, like, he did like a Walmart campaign, and it was like the Walmart that gets the most likes, he'll go and perform to it.
Oh my God, stop.
And the internet, as a joke, picked the most obscure Walmart in the middle of like very white America.
Yeah, like Iowa or something.
Yeah. It's just like not in his demographic whatsoever. And it was like a joke that the internet played on him. And it's like, we're going to send him to the most obscure place. And he went. He went and he performed. He, you know, for this very conservative,
oh my God,
you know, red state area. I don't remember where it was. But he performed and he took pictures and,
oh my God,
you know, probably introduced a lot of people to his music.
Yeah. Did he have dancers with him?
I don't know if he had dancers with him. I can't remember exactly.
Because I'm just about, like, you know, obviously his music is like all about like booty shaking and like girls and like all this stuff. And like, so the dancers that he had, I mean, like, not wearing a lot of clothing.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine like middle of nowhere, Iowa, like Pitbull and his dancers.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I just like, I found that so funny when I came across that story. And I'm just like, you have to be like confident to do that, to put yourself in that situation.
Also, he said he was going to do it and he did it.
He did it. Yeah. He said exactly. A man of his word. Mr. Worldwide.
He really is. He was like, no, anywhere in the world, I will go. Yeah. I am Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah. So I
and the world includes Iowa.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just focusing on Iowa. It's like the most random state I can think of.
But
I'm so sorry, Iowa.
Yeah. But I just found it so funny, like how much this one particular panelist was like bashing him, but also like had so much respect for him, which is so just valid.
But like that's a lot. You can say that about a lot of artists, like, or at least I can. I mean, there are tons of artists that I'm just like,
I would never.
Yeah, I have no desire to like really listen to their music or whatever. And like, at the end of the day, like art is subjective. Yeah. Just because something's in the zeitgeist doesn't mean that everybody's gonna like it. Yeah. And like, you just don't vibe with something, you don't vibe with something. But you can like acknowledge like, maybe I don't particularly like this music, but they are a hard worker, or they do this, they do that. You know, like I can understand why other people would like it, but it's just not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's like, for me, there's a lot of, I've worked on artists that I don't particularly like, but I like their fan base. Yeah. And I'll go to a show and I'll walk in not really caring about the artist, but then I'll walk out and just be like, you get the just being in the same room as other people that love that artist will make you love an artist. Right.
Or like even just seeing like how much care they put into their shows and like the performance, like, you know, again, like there are so many shows that I go to where I'm like, I can really care less about this artist, but like they put on a great show. Yeah. Or I'll go with a friend because they have an extra ticket and I'll walk out being like, I don't know that I would ever put on their music in my car, but like I'll go to a show again. That was so fun.
Yeah. I felt that way about, like no shade towards Kygo, but when I saw Kygo, I was kind of like, not really is he super into this, but the fans and the show itself was pretty great.
I'm trying to think of like who. I can't think off the top of my head. I'm sure I will text you later. Yeah, like this artist and that artist and that artist. I'm sure I have a whole list of artists that I don't particularly vibe with. I keep kicking this. Oops. Yeah. But anyway, we went with a bunch of my NHMC coworkers, and my friend's son, who's 9, and he and I dressed up and had the best time. The best time. Although,
how did you dress up exactly?
Oh, we both put on a bald cap. Yeah. I had ordered a bald cap and it came in a 3-pack, and so I like group chatted us and I was like, look, there are 4 of us in this group chat, and I didn't know that my friend's son was coming at that point, but I was like, we just need 1 extra bald cap if we all want to go. And they were like, well, we don't want to dress up, but like we support you, but like my son's coming, he'll definitely dress up. And I was like, sold, great. And obviously they were like the cheapest, worst bald caps ever. And I was like, this is not a human skin tone either. But it was like, you know, whatever. We weren't going for accuracy. We were just like, we wanted to dress up. And so he had his little like vest and his little button down shirt, his little suit pants. And I like, as it turns out, the only blazer that I own is one that I rhinestoned a couple months ago. So I was like, I guess I'm going as like Liberace Pitbull or like gay Pitbull. So I guess that tracks like gay going to Pitbull. But I thought I looked pretty good.
Yeah, I looked.
You're like, good is not the word that I would use, but that is a word.
You dressed up, and I just felt like that was like, it was just really funny to me, and I had like
the best time.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
why not?
Why not? And it was so fun, and there were a lot of people dressed up. I definitely think the other thing that I noticed was there were like a lot of like 19-year-olds, and I'm assuming it's because a girl went viral because she went to a Pitbull show dressed up.
Yeah.
And like, and I get it. I was like, that show was fun.
Yeah.
Even, and like, again, even if you're in the same boat as me, where you're like, I think I know like one Pitbull song. You like go and you're like, oh wait, I do know like every song, and you're just like dancing and like having a good time. That being said, I don't think I've ever seen so many drunk people in my life. And I hang out in West Hollywood. It was like belligerent. I was like, what is happening? There was a girl that like projectile vomited and it was like coming out of the porta potties.
Oh.
Yeah, like, and her friend was like, hey girl, like, you good? And then like there was this like group of like, again, I think 19-year-olds, I can't really tell how old anybody is anymore, but like they were like falling over and we had to be like, there is so much room.
Right.
We're like on the lawn area. There is so much room. I've never had so much room at a concert in my life. And somehow you keep hitting us. Like, you need to like take your friend somewhere because he is unwell.
Right.
So people were having like a very good time.
Yeah.
Like too good of a time, maybe. And I hope that they're all okay.
Yeah, because it was a Thursday, so I guess that's like college Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, whatever, when you're in college, every day is Friday, I guess. But I was just like, I have literally never seen this many drunk people. It was, like, wild. So people, like, really turned up at Pitbull.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be, like, a bunch of, like, mid-40s people.
Yeah, like millennials.
I guess. Like older millennials or something. Yeah. I thought we were going to be, like, some of the younger people, but again, I think because of the TikTok thing, there were like a lot of like 19-year-olds.
I think TikTok's so interesting because it does make the most random artists become relevant all over again.
Was it Zara Larsson? Was she the one that has the song with the dolphins? I just want to be part of your symphony.
Oh,
where you say like, she was like, oh, I was like, I got a spike in my listeners and I didn't know why. And then I like go on TikTok and it's people saying the most fucked up things to my song. But like it's going viral, so
that works out.
Yeah, like I don't know if I should be like upset about it, but yeah, thanks for listening.
You know, thanks for trauma bonding on my song, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I'm like trying to get my TikTok addiction under control, but I don't know. I appreciate the trends.
I do too.
Come up.
Yeah.
There's a trend right now. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember what it was, but it like made me shake my head so hard. It's just like a text thread. It's like, put your clothes back on. We're going to talk about deep traumatic stuff or something like that. And then everybody's like gives different examples of what that is. I find that so funny.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I guess it's on mine. I don't know what that says about me.
No, but I love figuring out like what's on people's For You pages because I'll be like, I'll send something to a group chat and be like, oh my God, has everybody seen this? Like this is all over my TikTok. And they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Or like specific songs. I'll be like, how do you not know this song? Like it's everywhere. Every other video is this song. And they're like, who is this? Who is this random person?
I mean, it's just crazy because it's just, my sister has like, I've had my volume up while I'm scrolling TikTok. And then she'll be like, your For You page is crazy. And then she'll have hers on. And I'm like, so is yours. So you can't judge on there. Yeah. The elephant Moodang is on everyone's TikTok, I think.
I think that's like a worldwide one. But the like sub genre of that for my TikTok is have you seen like the Knights of the Round Table of like all the cute animals that are trending?
No.
I can't remember exactly what it is, but I think it's like a girl joking about how she's like making like a Knights of the Round Table team of all these cute animals, and it's like Moodang and this like snow leopard seal at the zoo with like the big eyes, and he makes like little noises. He's so cute. Yeah. And then
the penguin.
somebody was like, oh, you got to put the blind snow leopard on there. There's a blind snow leopard. Something happened to his eyes and they had to like take him out. And so they like built all these ramps all over his like thing so that he could like get around and do stuff. And so there's like videos of him just like getting used to his ramps and like bopping around. It's very cute. Yeah. Very sad, obviously, that he has no eyes, but looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the point of TikTok, is to just look at animals for the most part, at least for me. But yeah, I was, one girl made this because SNL just did, I forget his name,
Bo and Yang.
Yeah, Bo and Yang. He did the Chapel Roan.
Oh yeah, as Mudang.
Yeah, as Mudang thing. And she made like a good point. It's like, you have to be on this app to understand why that is so funny.
Yeah.
And
you have to be chronically online.
Yeah, exactly. And to be able to find that funny, because I watched it with like other people and I was the only one that found it funny.
My favorite types of comments on that stuff is like, I have no one to send this to.
Damn it. Yeah.
You're like, I'm the only friend that's chronically online and this will only make sense to me. Or when it's like a meme that, like, again, like making fun of something else that's on the internet, like Mudang as Chapel Roan. Like, there's so many layers to that.
I've been sending you videos.
Yeah, I think we're on this.
I think we have
pretty similar. Yeah, we're
FYP pages,
both chronically online.
I mean, I'm starting to work again, so it's tempered down a little bit, but I don't mind, and then I do. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, some of mine is research, you know.
Yeah. You gotta be relevant. You gotta know what's relevant, what people are talking about.
I mean, the Pitbull thing, like, I made a whole video for NHMC about that.
Yeah. That's really
research, kind of.
But that's funny that, like, I think that that's what's so nice about NHMC, is that you get to just highlight, like, very, what am I trying to say? Staples of, like,
Latinx like culture. Yeah, I mean, really, it's like, we're everywhere, and, like, we don't, we're not, like, a monolith. Like, so it's, like, it's nice to be able to like highlight just like random things that we're doing.
Yeah.
And also like TikTok is so chaotic that like we can do stuff like that. Like make a whole montage video of like me and my friend's son dancing as Pitbull. And that's like the post of the day.
Highlighting it and appreciating it.
It was a team outing on top of that.
Yeah, exactly.
An unofficial team outing.
Official, unofficial. Yeah, all of that.
Official because we all just happened to work at the same place and we all carpooled.
Yeah. I was like, we talked about weddings in the last episode. Yeah. And Pitbull obviously showed up on that playlist. Yeah, of course. I can't remember which Pitbull song. It was one of his songs.
I'm sure. So many.
Yeah. But one of the things I said on that episode, it's like the same repetitive songs.
Yeah.
But my cousin I don't think he watched that episode, but he made the point to ask everybody's recommendation or what they wanted to hear at the wedding. And he's also a DJ, and I think his friend DJ'd his wedding. But it was like a really great playlist of songs. Had all the classics, had things from different genres, and got people to dance. So obviously Suavemente was one of them.
Of course,
but
always.
I wanted to make like a compilation video of like, I wish I like, this is one of those things where like, I wish I was on my phone recording more on at least this one specific thing. Is just like the amount of people that get up and run to the dance floor every time Suavemente plays.
Yeah, there's like a handful of songs like in the pantheon of like wedding greats.
Yeah. So that was really funny. And yeah, that was a really great wedding, and I was really, really happy for them as a couple. So that was, that was a wedding that I genuinely enjoyed. So that was good.
One of my favorite things that I've seen on wedding invites, I guess in my lifetime, is when they leave like on the RSVP card, like song you'd love to hear, so that you can submit some good things. And I'm like, you didn't give me enough room. And I'm just like, flip over to the back. Let me make your playlist for you.
I wanted to, for whatever reason, the only song that really came up to mind when he asked, because he asked in like the family group chat, was More Than a Woman, Bee Gees,
nice.
but S.G. Lewis's remake of it. For whatever reason, it's like that song. I mean, because I was going with my family, that song is like me and my mom's like favorite song. It's like she loves the Bee Gees.
Yeah,
I like S.G. Lewis. He made this beautiful, like, great remix of it. And I always play like his music whenever we're on like a road trip, or like I'll use him as like the Spotify radio inspo or whatever. And it's like one of the few genres that we can all agree on.
Yeah. And it's cute because it's nostalgic.
It's nostalgic and it's it's new and it's refreshed and it's a different take on a very old song. So I love when like artists do that, when they reinterpret songs into a new way. I really like, I forget what the name is, but the Dua Lipa song with Elton John.
Oh, is it Rocket Man?
No. It's one of Elton John's.
Is Rocket Man the one that he did with Britney?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
I know he did one with Britney and he did one with Dua Lipa, but I like the Dua Lipa one a lot more.
Yeah.
But I can't remember it. I'm the worst at like remembering the names of songs.
I'm going to remember it at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll send it to you later.
Okay. Yeah, literally at like 3 a.m. I'm going to like wake up and be like, that's the song.
I might just like add the audio or like me. It's like, it's this song.
Yeah.
Like, put it in there.
We remembered it.
We remembered it later.
Yeah.
Just like, that's what that is. But yeah, what else have you been up to?
I don't know. I'm just like Pitbull. I'm like freaking out that I have no idea what I'm gonna be for Halloween.
Oh yeah, because you like to dress up a lot.
I love to dress up.
You've dressed up for Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that was my Halloween costume actually like 3 years ago.
Okay.
3 years ago? Yeah. And so like when the movie remake came out, or the sequel, whatever, I was already ready for it.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, I could do like the yellow suit, but I don't know. It's already been done.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'm just like, if I'm going to make something, like I got to have time, like, you know.
Is there any like Hollywood or Halloween events that you're looking forward to? I haven't looked into any.
I haven't really either. I have like friends that are throwing like Halloween parties like early. Like my friend it's his birthday, but he's having like a costume karaoke. I think I'm going to go dress as Pitbull, actually.
That'll be good.
Yeah. So then that's like one costume down. I have another friend who's throwing like a house party. I have a couple friends that are throwing house parties, but like on the weekend, the weekend before Halloween, when everybody's like out and about, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't either. I can't even remember, like, I got invited to one Halloween party and I'm not like the best when it comes to dressing up. And usually I'll usually have a friend who's like a lot more into it than I am. And then I'll just kind of borrow one of their costumes. Yeah. But I actually want to try it this year. I'm not used to, I just need to get better at like the whole dress up thing. Yeah. So.
I just like have to think of something. I want to do something fun.
Once I dressed up as the green M&M.
Fun?
Yeah, that was fun. It was just very simple, but I got to wear green makeup and like all of that, green lipstick and all that. So that was fun. I always end up like, when I was a kid, I always would dress up as like a vampire. Mm-hmm. And then Twilight became a thing and I'm just like,
okay, well,
I can't do that no more.
Well, I mean, I think Twilight is a very specific kind of vampire.
I think it just became too popular. Yeah. Like I liked vampires when it was Underworld. Yeah. Like the full leather suit and like the short black choppy hair and like I really like what's her name? Kate Beckinsale. Yeah. Yeah. I like that version of vampire culture or whatever you want to call it. But then Twilight came around and it was just like I read the books and obviously like the movies or whatever. It was just like the sparkly thing that they would do that ruined it for me.
You don't want to cover yourself in glitter?
No.
Okay, fine.
That's not my version of vampirism. Like,
that's not your vampire culture.
No, it isn't. But I kind of do want to be a vampire again, so we'll see.
I feel like if you were to like, I don't know, I'm saying this like without having any sort of plan. I have a concept of a plan.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you were to like dress it up differently. Yeah. Because also like the vampires in that movie, like, aren't they just dressed like normal people but like sparkly?
Yeah.
I saw the first movie once when it came out, but I'm not really up on my Twilight culture.
Well, yeah. I also feel like I shouldn't do that because I dress in all black already. So it's like,
so then you already have your costume.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. I'm like, it's like I'm trying, but I'm not trying. Yeah. So I have to figure this out.
Oh, man. Okay, well, we're in the same boat because I have no ideas. Like, literally zero ideas.
Yeah. There's a lot of disco balls, and it reminded me of
my apartment.
Yeah.
There's more, too.
Yeah.
They're just not out.
I have, like, one disco at my place. Yeah. But anyway, my question was, you went to, like, a French disco thing?
No, I ended up not going. Wait. I went to something else, though.
Oh, okay.
I went to a different disco.
Okay.
But the French pop night, the Decadence Soiree, I've never been, and I keep meaning to go, and I was supposed to go with a friend, and then she ended up not being able to go. And so I was like, well, I'm not going downtown by myself. Like, I'm just not going. That's right. For whatever reason, downtown just feels so far away. But then I went, I think, was it last week? It was either last week or the week before. The artist Maris Jones had like a book release at the Queensberry downtown, which is like a disco, like a full-blown like disco bar, which I had never heard of until this event. And it is so cool in there. Actually, I'm going to go on Thursday with another friend if you're free.
Yeah. No, because I saw that. I'm like, that looks really pretty.
Yeah. So it was so fucking cool. So there's like a lounge area and then like there's like a doorway and then you can go to the dance floor. So it's like two separate rooms, but the dance floor has a light up floor, like very Saturday Night Fever, and then like a ceiling full of disco balls, which is what I would love to make my living room look like. Yeah. I'm only at like 15 disco balls right now. I gotta like get more. They're not all out. They're in my closet. Yeah. Because I have to figure out like how to hang them. My place is like in a constant state of flux. But anyway, so it's like disco balls everywhere and it's so cool in there. But I had a call with the, I think she's like the events manager there because I want to like try and plan some things there. But they have an LGBT night that they started on Thursdays. So I'm going to go check it out with some friends. If you're right. That sounds sorry, fun. This is like the most interesting part of the podcast where I'm like, hey, we should make some plans.
I know, right?
What's your schedule like?
But that's what the point of this podcast is like, I mean, like there was one point where I really wanted, because Kevin is really good about going to all of these really interesting restaurants around LA. And I basically told him, you need to talk about every restaurant you go to because I want to get invited for free food. Yeah. So that's kind of the point of this, I think, is just to kind of like talk about these cool events and cool places to go to. And hopefully people will actually invite us to this stuff so that we can name drop them. Right. I think that's the whole point. I don't know.
Like being an influencer. Yeah.
Yeah. Some just to get free shit. Right. Right. And I'm not trying to be, it's like not trying to be an influencer, but also trying to just learn about interesting places that I want to check out
interesting places, and I also like want to support small businesses and like shout them out and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Particularly like queer businesses, or like that are supportive of that.
The LGBT community. Yeah.
Have you heard the Silver Lake Lounge is open again?
Okay. Yeah. So I don't think they ever really closed so much as they went under new management. Right. Maybe they closed like briefly to like, I don't know, like
change it a little bit.
But I drove past it the other night on my way home from something and there was like a huge crowd outside. So I was like trying to figure out like who was like playing or like what was going on or whatever. But the website is still like under the old owners, I think, because it hasn't been updated. There's like no calendar event, like nothing. Their Instagram like also hasn't been touched. So I have no idea like what's going on over there.
Oh, I signed up for like their newsletter. So
do they have a new one?
I mean, they just sent out an email like last week or something like that. So, I don't remember. It seemed really gay, but I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, that was my hope because when I was talking to the previous owners, I don't think they had any like information like
on who the new owner was.
Yeah, and like what was going to happen or they were just like, it's not our job anymore.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, just selling it and moving on.
Yeah,
which fair. I think that's what a lot of people.
They didn't do. I am paraphrasing a lot. They were just like, like once it changes ownership, like that's their calendar, So yeah, I'm very curious what's happening over there.
Yeah,
I love that place.
That'd be fun to go.
Yeah,
check it out.
It was a good little space.
I liked it. I only went like the 2 times that I went with you
or
your
event.
Sound. Yeah.
So
it's a nice space.
Yeah. It was super fun. I mean, it was like, where we had our discos and like the owners were always like super nice about like taking a chance on me and Anne Marie because like we were just like, hey, like we want to throw a party. And they were like, okay. Cool.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. And they let us throw it there for like a year and we were like chaotic and we're like, can we just like hang up a bunch of disco balls? Can we like let a bunch of lesbians take over the bar? And they're like, yeah, go for it. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do whatever you want. We're like, amazing.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully the new owners are open to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to like throw our disco. We keep like talking about maybe doing it again, but it's hard. I also have like so much anxiety all the time. We're like, are people going to show up? People showed up. But every time I'm like, are they going to show up again?
Yeah. I mean, Kevin and I have like a concept of a plan for our own event.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like organize like a barbecue. And so, but at the same time, like we're both have music backgrounds and I'm like, I work in experiential, but it's more on like the brand side of it. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully something like in that vein will happen. And one of my event producer friends who I'm hoping will be on the podcast one day, she loves the idea. So we'll see. She's a lot more like into like the nitty gritty aspects of what goes into an event. And so I really, really want to do something. So just actually getting around to it is a problem.
I know it's hard, but it's like, it's also really good that you have a friend that's like good at the nitty gritty. Cause like, I hate doing the logistics stuff. Anne-Marie's great at logistics. I am not. So I'm like, well, you do that part. I'll do all the other stuff. Like we divvy up our work that way. And it's great.
I love putting those types of personality types in the room and then just kind of letting them like talk it out.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like as the third person, like all kind of mute. I'm just like, yeah, you guys figured this out.
Yeah. I'm like, that's a great idea. I love that. Oh my God. I didn't think of that. No, I literally did not think of that. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's like they speak their own language. And I appreciate that.
I'm like going full steam ahead. Like, well, what if we did this? What if we had like an LED screen? They're like, that is not feasible here. We do not have that kind of like setup. And I'm like, good to know. That's cool. I'm glad that you brought me back down to earth.
Yeah. Like, my friend, Jess, I'll name her. She watches this.
Hey, Jess.
Hi. So she like, we used to work together and I would come up to her for like ideas. I'm like, can we do this? Can we do that? And she's like, not in the budget. Can't do that. Yeah. It sucks, but I also appreciate it because it's like, it's not like,
somebody has to rein us in.
Yeah. It saves so many like unnecessary conversations when you have that type of person.
So many unnecessary headaches too.
Yeah. But yeah, she just got married. Nice. Her and her fiance I think they're still in Italy, but I definitely want them to come. Yeah. They're in Chicago and I want them to do like LA stuff too. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the whole point of this podcast, is just to put things out there and hopefully things come out of it.
It's like, I was going to say we put it in writing, but this is an auditory medium.
Yeah, audio form.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We put it out there.
Exactly.
This is in stone now. Everything that goes on the internet stays on the internet. Even if you take it down, it's there.
I know. Well, I feel like I have to, like, I don't know, not edit, but like be more conscious of like what we put out.
Yeah.
Sometimes, not that we've gotten in trouble or anything like that, but just things get misconstrued all the time. Of course. So it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah. Speaking of me ranting and raving all the time, which I could rant and rave about that, but like, people not like thinking critically or like understanding context. Ooh. Or like looking for context.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite thing.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about chapel. That was one of the things that she mentioned.
Yeah.
So one of the things she said was like, I want people to think critically. And then this other girl took that part, and her response, she like stitched it, and she's like, but people don't think. Like,
well, yeah. I mean,
people don't know what critical thinking is.
Yeah. The joke that I always make is like, have you heard about like the whole thing about kids not being able to read?
What?
Okay.
What?
And I that is a literal thing. Okay. Literally on the literacy. It started with like, I started seeing a bunch of teachers popping up saying like, I'm a teacher and I have kids that are like 16 and I don't think you understand, like they genuinely cannot read. And I was like, that can't be real. That feels like clickbait. And so of course, like, which is what everybody's inclination should be, is when something sounds insane, Google it.
Yeah.
And so I was Googling it and it turns out that it is true. And then my friend texted me about this podcast. It's like a 10-episode podcast series about this problem, this literacy problem that we have right now in America. And it's basically like, I don't know when they implemented this, probably, I think maybe in like the last 10 years, but there was this like educator who was like trying to come up with like a better way to help struggling readers read. And in a very nice way, the woman who was doing this podcast was like, basically like, had she looked at the studies, she would have known that this is not how children learn how to read. There are so many scientific studies about like what is literally happening with like the neural pathways in their brains and how they learn that would tell you that this is not how children read. But this method is good for some kids that like are dyslexic or have like other learning disabilities. And so like it is good to have like a secondary method, like perhaps for those kids, but it is not good for all kids.
Right.
And so when the pandemic happened, and like all of a sudden these kids were reading at home, there were a couple of families that they interviewed who had like, I think they were like in kindergarten or first grade when the pandemic happened. And like prior to the pandemic happening, they were like, my kid is a struggling reader, like I don't understand. And they like got tutors and they did all these things and like their kid was just struggling with reading and they were like so stressed out about it. And then when they had to watch their kids do online school, they were like, why are you learning how to read like that? And so that's like how this whole thing started. So like right now, like kids literally can't read. I thought it was going to like a commentary on like kids being on TikTok all day and like just not reading, but like, no, they are literally not learning an effective way to learn how to read.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's a very long setup for the joke I have of like, how can I expect somebody to read between the lines when they literally can't read the lines?
Yeah. Oh God. I don't know. I get asked, you know, when are you going to start a family? When are you going to have kids or whatever? And then I hear stuff like that and I'm like, never.
No, it's like, it's so scary. And then I haven't really delved into, but I've heard a lot of teachers, again on TikTok too, like I feel like an idiot saying that, but like talking about how like they can't hold kids back.
Yeah, the whole like leave no kid behind thing.
Is that what that's a part of? Because that was like from like 20 years ago.
I think it's still, I mean, it's even if they changed it to some degree, it's like they don't want to hold kids back because they don't want kids to feel ostracized. It's also more expensive to hold a kid back. Course, they're in like they're in school for like another year instead of, I don't know, like I didn't get held back, but I did summer school. Mm-hmm. And I had struggles. I'm not dyslexic. I have the thing, I forget what it's called, where I can't spell very well. It's the way I have a hard time remembering how sentence structures and spelling and grammar and stuff like that. Like that stuff is really difficult for me to some degree. I mean, it's better now, but growing up, it was
but you needed extra help.
Right. Yeah. So it's like during the school year, you're studying 4 or 5 subjects, and I was always behind when it came to English and stuff like that. So I would take summer school and I would focus on learning English or taking English classes. Like it was like 4 hours a day, 5 days a week for the course of like 8 weeks or something like that. And that worked for me. Yeah. That's how I stayed, caught up, and that's how I was able to, learn the things that I needed to learn. I needed more attention in that subject. Yeah. And I needed that to be like the only subject that I focused on for like a short period of time to catch up with my peers, right? Yeah. There's no summer school anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think they've cut summer school funding by half compared to when we were kids. Dang. And I can't imagine like what my life would be like if I didn't have those courses. And so it just sucks. And it sucks because it's like, I don't know, these teachers on TikTok, they're like complaining about like their lack of resources, and like they talk about what it's like. And I'm just like, yeah, they have a lot less resources than what we had. And it's not fair.
It's not fair at all. Like, I mean, talk about like a labor of love. Like if you think we're not getting paid well in the music industry, like teachers are not getting paid at all, really. Yeah. And like arguably they have one of the most important jobs, like educating our like future adults.
Yeah. But it's sad and it's depressing. And I feel for the parents that had to go through COVID, but I also think that they, maybe it was good for some parents to see exactly what it's like.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, there are silver linings that came out of COVID. There are a lot of things that like came to light. There are a lot of things that got restructured or whatever. Obviously nobody wants a global pandemic. Like, no. In the universe was that like a good thing, but like at least there are things that like came to light, that needed to be rectified. So in one sense, like now we're understanding that kids are not reading.
Which is terrifying.
It's crazy. I mean, and again, like I hate so much being like, I saw this TikTok, but there was like an HR professional who was like, I just went to a conference where there was like a panel or something, or maybe a keynote about how like HR professionals need to basically gear up for all these kids that like are graduating and entering the workforce who like don't really know how to read or like are just like really behind basically academically. Because we're going to have to work with them,
But like how? Like
I know.
I don't know. I mean, like I think, the future workforce, it's like there's like all these studies about Gen Z not lasting longer than 3 months. Yeah. At any position that they're going into. I do think that higher education has coddled the next generation of students to a degree that is really unfortunate. So when they do enter the workforce, it's like they're not adequately prepared. Yeah. A lot of it is because all of these universities are for profit, and it's even if they're public schools that do get they used to get like a lot more funding 20 years ago, and now their public funding is going lower, but they also have to attract students. And I don't know. My point is that like the system that we have now is not creating a great workforce for positions that we're in. Right. And I don't want to sound like, oh, we're smarter or we're better. Right. But I just feel like it's getting worse, and I don't fully understand what they're teaching students.
I think, or like Gen Z, like not lasting more than like 3 months in jobs, but it's like, I mean, I just think every institution is broken. I think there are a lot of things that need to face like their own reckoning.
I don't want to like. I think I don't want to like sound like these old people that we grew up with, or like who would say like, oh, millennials are entitled and all that stuff. I don't think it's that.
I don't think it's that either. I think there's just like a lot of things at play that need reconciling, you know.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things we mentioned was like, they're our future, but we're not getting as much education as we did.
Yeah. The education system is like not great. It's also so expensive to go to college. Like, you're going to put yourself in debt for like the rest of your life to go to college, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. We need to figure out a better system.
I know. I wish I could just be a dog, my unemployed roommate.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have something to say? Thank you for snorting into the microphone. That was very cute of you. I think there are a lot of systems that need like to be reconfigured.
Yeah.
And I will commend Gen Z for pointing out like a lot of things that are not working.
Yeah, and I think
I will not commend them for telling me to change my socks though.
Oh yeah, no. I still like I like my skinny jeans too, so I'm not willing to give those up. But that's a personal choice.
Yeah.
What's that?
My dog is so nosy.
Are you?
She's very nosy. Little
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Are you one of these people that like judges people whether she likes them or not?
She likes everybody is the problem.
So that's not useful.
It's really not. I like, if my apartment were to get broken into, she would bark and like I would know that somebody was breaking in, and then as soon as they came in, she would be like, "Why are you not petting me?" So, not a great guard dog. I wish she were a better litmus test, but it is a good litmus test because, on the opposite side of it, because if people don't like dogs, then that's where I make a judgment.
Yeah. I like dogs. I have a hard time with cats.
Yeah. I mean, like, how could you not like this dog? She's so sweet.
So affectionate.
Yeah. Not to be like that dog mom, but she's like pretty great.
No, it's okay. She needs
a haircut so badly.
Everybody's crazy about their dogs.
I know.
But about their own dogs.
The nicest dog. She like wants to be friends with everybody.
I like her underbite.
I know. Her teeth are so bad. When I first got her, I like took her to the vet for a checkup, and the vet was like, okay, well, you know, like her teeth are like healthy. I know they just like, they look pretty fucked up, but like they're actually in good shape. And I was like, okay. And he's like, if it starts to cause problems with her gums when she's older though, she might need doggy braces.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't either. And so I looked it up, and of course it was like a BuzzFeed article. This was 10 years ago now, but about this puppy that had to get braces because when all of its baby teeth fell out, which by the way, like dog teeth also fall out like adults. I did not know that. But all of its adult teeth came in all weird, and it was having trouble like biting and chewing. And so it was genuinely affecting its ability to eat. And so they had to get braces for it so that he could eat. She has not needed braces.
No.
Her bite is...
She can eat just fine.
She ate a whole bag of dog food one time. She has no problem eating.
What's her breed?
Oh, God, I don't know. The shelter when I got her said she was an American Eskimo mutt.
Oh, mine too.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Does she look like her?
Well, no. So Thor is part Chihuahua.
Okay.
So American Eskimo, Chihuahua, and then Japanese... I forget what it's called. Japanese Shin or something like that. Yeah.
So my friend got me a doggy DNA test for her, and it came back and said that she was like... Her biggest percentage was Shiba Inu, which was like... She's like a quarter Shiba Inu.
Yeah.
And then everything else was like 5% and 10%, but it was like Pomeranian, Pekingese, Shih Tzu, like 1% like Dalmatian. And then she's like 5% like super mutt. And when you clicked on that, it said like there are negligible traces of like this kind of dog, but like she could be these things. And one of the things listed was Eskimo mutt. So whatever, the shelter picked up on like 1% of what she is, I guess. I also think they were like, we're not sure what this like gremlin is. So like, let's pick something out of a hat that we don't normally get that will make her interesting and adoptable.
No, for the longest time, I thought my dog was like Jack Russell Terrier mixed with Greyhound. Yeah. Because he has these long legs and he looks like a Jack Russell. Yeah. And then my sister got the test done because she loved how like friendly he was. And she wanted to mix that breed with a poodle because he sheds a lot. That's the only thing that we don't really care for. She sheds their
tumbleweeds of fur all the time.
Yeah. But, yeah, I was kind of annoyed that he was part Chihuahua. Yeah. But it's fine. He's getting older, and the older he gets, the more of a Chihuahua he looks like. Yeah. Fine. But also he's, like, Mexican, though, so it makes sense.
Yeah. He came to the right family.
Yeah. I got him driving back from West Hollywood after Halloween. Oh. I'd been wanting a dog. So I stopped by the shelter on my way home. And I knew it was a kill shelter. And I was like, I don't know why I did this when I was hungover. And I don't know why I went by myself, but I just did. Yeah. I'm just like, it's on my way home, so I'll just stop and see what there is. Yeah. And he was like literally like in the very back, like the last dog that I was like walking around and looking at all of them. And then he just like made eyes at me. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'll play with him. And that was it. Took him home after that, paid the little fee and came back home from West Hollywood with a dog. And I was living with my dad at the time. And he's just kind of like, how did you come back with a dog? Yeah. Last when you left, you were like dressed up like Alice in Wonderland. Yeah. And now you're back with a dog. It was pretty bad.
That's kind of like how I ended up with her. My friend was like, let's go look at dogs at the shelter. And so I had like gone with her and I didn't see anything or any dogs that I was like really vibing with. And as we were leaving, she took a wrong turn to get out of like the maze of like kennels. And she was like, Zan, you have to come over here. There's a dog over here that looks so ridiculous. She's in a Santa suit. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I ran over and she had been isolated because she had a cold. And she's allergic to fleas and had been attacked by fleas like when they found her on the streets, I guess. And so they had to shave her and she was covered in scabs and like was just like pretty gross. And so they put a Santa suit on her to make her look cute because it was also December. And she was so happy like when we came over there. And so we're like, okay, like we'll meet this dog. Sat in our laps immediately, was like running around, was thrilled to be hanging out with us. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'm taking home this dog. And so they handed me to her without the Santa suit. And they're like, oh, yeah, you can't bathe her until, like, her scabs heal. And so I was like, do I get the Santa suit at least? And they're like, no, that's the shelters. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to take home this, like, very dirty shelter dog and, like, not bathe her for, like, God knows how long. Like, all right, here we go. And now I've had her for 10 whole years.
Yeah, she made it.
And she did. She's, like, truly the best dog. She's, like, very low maintenance. She doesn't give a fuck about anything. She's just like, okay, you're going to sleep in? Chill, me too. You want to go hiking? Cool, me too.
Oh, do you take her to Runyon?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing about my dog. He's not great with other dogs, but that's okay.
She's not great with other dogs on the leash. So she'll like bark when she's on leash, but then I take her to the dog park and I let her off leash and she like doesn't give a fuck about the other dogs. She's just like trying to get like treats from other families. Or like she'll like disappear and I'm like, where is she? And she's like sitting with a family like trying to eat their treats. I'm like, girl, it's not your family. Like no loyalty.
Just wants to eat.
I know.
No, I asked what breed she was because it's like I had a beagle and she would eat everything. Yeah. So I was wondering if she had beagle in her.
No, I don't think so. There was one time my, oh man.
We should probably say goodbye. Okay.
Anyway,
just having a lot of issues with cameras, so we're gonna cut it short. We're just ranting about our dogs anyway. So
we did our best. Juneau. Sorry, that was probably so loud. Anyway, special guest Juneau.
Say hi.
Come here.
I don't want to disturb her.
Do you want to get up?
Okay.
No. No?
Okay. Well, Juneau's not going to say goodbye, but we'll say bye.
Say bye.
Bye, and thanks for watching.
Yeah. It's chaos.
Chaos again, but it's fine.
Chaos.
Anyway, thanks for hearing us rant.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you for listening to the Your Petty Friend podcast. Watch us on YouTube and listen to us on Spotify.